know this isn't a very exciting concept, but when I just put up random thoughts, I thought, oh, well, I'll just test this by doing a random conversation, which I've just finished. So I'm about to register my complaint about my own inadequacies. So I did the test. I recorded something that went for 20 odd minutes, and then I played it back, and the sound was terrible. First it only came, it was only in mono, and it sounded like I was speaking from the bottom of a toilet bowl, gargling, which I would imagine if ever I did that would be a terrible experience. But that's what it felt like. And so I thought I'd just attempt to do it again to see whether or not we can improve upon the quality. So I just tested it. It seems to be better if I'm using this different mic. And I don't understand. I've worked so hard at some of this technology. I'm not an audio guy. I'm not a video guy. I'm a social worker. So what would I know about the way these things are supposed to work? Clearly, the reality is I don't know. And the response that I have to that is, fuck it, I don't care. I'll just do what I can in the best way that I can, and however it presents is just the way it presents. So I often watch these guys who are experts in video, YouTube, Facebook, recording, producing, so I'm a bit obsessed with some of these dudes. And they always tell you the same old thing, like you don't need expensive equipment. Well, I haven't got expensive equipment, so I kind of meet that target, You don't need, I've got a good microphone. I've got an audio system here that wasn't all that expensive. And, but I guess when you add all this stuff up, I guess it does account for a fair bit of money. But sometimes I just haven't got the expertise and can't get my head around the right way to do things. So I launch into YouTube to find that problem, to find the solution to the problem, and 9 times out of 10, lo and behold, there it is, the solution staring right at me, and I didn't even see it. So I had a problem just a minute ago when I was doing this video, and I couldn't figure it out, so I gave up. But I thought, bugger it, I'll try again. It probably will not be 22 minutes like the last one, but it will be something. And this is the thing. One of the things I did get from the internet was that it isn't about, well, obviously it's about content, so there's a number of issues around that. Clearly, I don't put enough content up. So that's one of the problems. I try to, I just don't have the time all the time. Would I like to become dedicated to putting more content up? Yes, I would. I'd love to have 2 or 3 days a week where I could just think about internet content around the subjects that matter to me the most, which is primarily child protection, social justice type issues, domestic violence, mental well-being, all those things that I'm interested in. I'd like to be able to do more videos around, and perhaps I should. I'd like to do more around media. I'd like to be able to do a reflection on all the media, the major media items, news items that happen each day. I think that'd be a good thing to do. But sometimes I just don't have the time to do it. I have 4 or 5 appointments in a day and some other stuff that I have to catch up on or report to write, and I just don't have the time to do that sort of stuff. But maybe I should create time. It isn't as if there aren't enough hours in the day. I guess I could modify my day to spend half an hour doing, because I'll often say to clients, well, why don't you do such and such? And they'll say, well, I haven't got the time to be able to do that. And I'll say, surely you could find 30 minutes in the day just to do that one thing, which sometimes is about having a conversation with your partner. Do something a little bit different with your life. Go out and, your favourite sport, or go out and do that. Do something, but I'm often, even though I try and emulate what I'm telling other people to do, I don't always do it. And do I get people to do things that I don't do? I don't think I do. I think I normally have done what I tell people to do. not tell them, suggest that they do. But do I do it often enough for myself? Probably not. Probably not. There is a confession I could make about that, but I don't think I want to make it here because at some point someone might hold it against me. It's not terribly dramatic, but it is a way I kind of view myself, which I've certainly talked to my wife and my kids about, but I don't think I'll share it with you though, because it's a characteristic of me that I don't like. So maybe somewhere down the track I might talk to you about that, but not right now. But at the moment, the video is going fine. The reason why I thought I'd do a random one is that, what I just said, is that I often do videos about child protection issues, some of these other things. Admittedly, I don't do enough of them, trying to overcome that. But I often think about what is it that we need to do to make our content more interesting. So in order to assess that, I will try, from time to time, look at other people's videos. So I spent a lot of time looking at, because I was interested in politics and stuff, so I was looking at the guys of Sam Sneeder. I'm trying to think of the other guys that I looked at. It just escaped me at the moment, but it'll come back. So I look at other people's contents. I look at the Young Turks just to see what sort of stuff they're doing. I don't want to try and emulate them. I want to figure out, what is the most helpful thing that they do. So what is it that makes their production interesting to people? Because I can't see the point in having some really interesting ideas and have some interesting discussions, and then not having the opportunity to express them. Like people will write books that express their ideas. Good on them. Won't talk about the book that I'm writing because I've been at it for so long and written so few words. But I appreciate that people have ideas and concepts that need to be expressed, and we need to, if we've got those ideas, we need to be able to express them and spread our knowledge around a little bit. But I find myself kind of resistant to that to some extent, even though, and I am resistant sometimes just to doing this, right? I love the technology. I like the fact that we can use it. I like the fact I can make a video. I can have this background. I can do whatever. But, the fanciest backgrounds and the best introduction doesn't necessarily make it the best job. Because I've been watching some videos of some people that do some mundane things. There's a set of videos by a woman who just talks about, I first saw it because she was an adopted kid. And I wanted to have a look at what she said about adoption. And it was just a tight little 15-minute video. And it was just her sitting on a couch talking to the camera. And I thought, well, that was cool. So, but what made it interesting, because she had like 181,000 views. And I'm thinking, was it her subject matter? No, it was, well, yes. Well, no, yes, no. Yeah, I guess it was because people wouldn't watch it if they didn't think the subject mattered. Just like people probably won't watch this because they think it's crap. That's fine. But, at the end of the day, I'm investing 20 minutes or so having a conversation. If people don't want to watch it, then that's fine. They don't get anything out of it. That's fine too. If they do happen to come across a gem that I didn't even notice, then I would consider that a bonus. But you never know. So I was watching her and she was just talking to the camera about her adoption experience. And so then I flipped to another video, which was more recent, which has, so that was the one that has 181,000 views. And that was about her moving out of home, moving out of where she's living with her friend, and stuff like that. And it was a conversation. It was just a conversation. There wasn't anything world-shattering, anything of great interest that made you think, this is extremely profound what you're doing. She's just a young woman who's just striding through life and doing the best that she can. But there's something engaging about her. Like, she's just good to listen to. I watched another one. So I was watching a series of videos. I'll go down these damn rabbit holes with YouTube. So I was watching another one of what is it like? It's comparing Australia with the USA. So it's people that come and live in Australia for a bit from the US and what they think of Australia. And they're interesting if you're an Australian to find out what Americans or other people think of you. And there's some stuff that they say, and I think, well, I actually haven't experienced that, and they make everything's popping at the moment. I understand that their experience of us, I think it's just a fascinating thing to look at. So it was that. But there was a couple that did it, and they just talked about, they lived in Australia for 12 months, I think. And they talked about that. There was another woman who had decided to stay in Australia. Her partner's Australian. And what that experience is what I've heard, and what she noticed that was different. She even said that she even now likes Vegemite, which I thought was an amazing achievement in itself, because if ever you tasted Vegemite, never tasted it before, it tastes like shoe polish, because it looks like shoe polish. But for us Australians, we rather enjoy the taste, oddly enough. So it was interesting having a look at what it is. So that there are people that had, one of those had like 200,000 hits. Now, it makes it sound like I'm really keen on this hit thing. Well, I'm not. Well, I am. Well, I'm not. It's important. Let's put it that way. Because it does show that you're getting some traction about what you're saying and what you're doing and how you're presenting it. Now, I have all the most wonderful sets of equipment you can imagine. I've got a green wall that is just my green screen. And I don't actually live in the universe, in the cosmos, as you might see behind me. I'm really good with producing the graphics required, and I'm really good with the software that I've bought to be able to produce this stuff. And so I've got the technology, and I've got a reasonable camera. I wish to upgrade it. Anyone care to give me $5,000 to upgrade my camera to something really good that I could do some documentaries with? That would be fabulous, but it won't happen. But there's so I've got everything that's required to do the job. But what I don't seem to have is, I don't seem to make, I think I have it, I don't think I make the time and sometimes the expertise and sometimes the ability to be able to articulate in a way which interests people about my subject. So I did a video yesterday for Facebook on the Child Protection Party page. So when I do a video, I play it back and I review it as objectively as I can. So I think, is what this person's saying okay? Is this what this person's saying, namely me, does it make any sense? Is it realistic? Is it, can I relate to what's being said? Is what being said has any value? Does it have any meaning? Is this bastard just rambling about crap that he knows nothing about? And so I try to evaluate it really objectively, and sometimes I really like what I see, and sometimes I hate it. And the stuff that I hate, I've normally kind of put up anyway. I don't want to take it down too much like hard work. Do I revise enough? Do I edit it enough to take out some of the crappy stuff? Or am I satisfied just to kind of leave it there? And sometimes I reckon I'm lazy in that area and I don't bother editing stuff and I just let it go. And sometimes I just like to do a live feed and just get it out and be done with it. And is what I've done is exciting enough, or is it drab? Is it boring? And when I looked at this one the other day, I thought it was boring. It was a subject for which I'm very passionate, but which was basically just boring shit that, well, the subject wasn't shit, but the way I talked about it, I guess, made it seem like that. And so I guess I'm trying to find ways to engage a little bit more, to kind of like be myself. So my wife and I have this podcast called Conversations Over Coffee. So if you want to find it, it's on Spotify, Conversations Over Coffee, and Tony Tonkin's the name, so have a look. And when Dee and I do the conversation over coffee, it's just her and I literally sitting outside with the pergola, under the pergola, with a headset on, and having a conversation. And the me that is presented there is a different me than even the one I'm presenting here. It's laid back, and maybe that's because I'm having a conversation with someone I've had many conversations with. I feel real comfortable. It's a two-way thing, not trying to hold the session all on my own like I am here. And we have this exchange, and Dee will say something, and I think that's funny, and she laughs. She's got a great laugh, and it's just kind of like this enjoyable moment. And we've only started it. We've done 12 sessions, done just a few weeks back, but it's picking up more traction than does Wise, Witty and Weird. This sort of video stuff we're doing, and I think that's because it appears differently. It is, but I'm the same person. So what am I doing that is different there? Maybe the difference is that because it's a podcast, you can't see me. So then there's the other thing, like we construct this version of who people are by their voice. Not necessarily I've got a young voice. I haven't. I've got an old fart's voice. So that really shouldn't make all that much difference. But nevertheless, that seems to be taking off reasonably well, whereas this sort of stuff isn't. So if you've got ideas, if anybody out there has got an idea about what I could do, so let me know, because you're looking at this objectively. If you can look at this and say, look, Tony, I think there's something you should do, which is, colour your hair, of which I don't have very much, shave your beard off, that is fine, or, do it in a suit and a collar and a tie, which I hope no one's going to suggest, because there's no way in the world I would do that, then let me know. If you want me to, I don't know, if you just feel that there's a way by which I could be more engaging, I really want you to know. So this is why I've called it Random Thoughts, because I had no idea before I started to have this conversation with you what in the hell I was going to be talking about. We're up to 17 minutes already, and I have no idea where this has gone, where it's come from, or where it will be going. So engage with me, talk to me about what you think you would like to. And look, the other thing is, talk to us about, and this includes Avery, because Avery's on this side as well. Talk to us about what it is that you would like us to talk to you about. There's a range of topics, social issue type topics that we are going to talk about. I know that Avery plans to next week or sometime we're going to do a video on Christianity, because he and I are atheists. And so we're going to have an interesting conversation about that. So if there are topics that you would like us to talk about or think about, then let me know. Put it in the comments section below, and I'll pick them up and we will have a conversation. And you can join with us. Because I think the great thing about the internet is community. It's a really great community, and we can share ideas together. And I apologise for my phone keep ringing at me, but I should always turn it off. So join with us, and there's some things you can do to help us as well. If I can just find them here. Where are we? So one of them is you can subscribe to this channel, which I'd really appreciate, because we really need to kick it along, and ring the bell, and we'll give you further notifications later on. And we also, believe it or not, have a Patreon page. So go to the Patreon page, contribute there, $1 a month, whatever. That helps us out to further out the equipment that we have. And it would encourage me, if we had money coming in, to do more of these types of videos and do less of the other stuff that I do, which I'd kind of prefer, because I need to get rid of that. I talked in the video that no one saw because the sound was so poor. I did talk about retirement and how I hate the R word. I don't want to retire, but I really would like to be able to do more of this sort of stuff and have these conversations with you, because I find it fun, and I like the engagement. So if people respond to us, that's fabulous. So please do that, and let us know what you think. So thanks everybody for being with me. Take care, look after yourself, and more importantly, in these torrid times, be safe.